Joel Ben Rostro, a friend of St. Therese, CFC East B Sector Family Ministry Coordinator, and currently our Family Life Apostolate Coordinator at our shrine. Joining him as co-host and also a guest speaker, Father Franz Basis, a very close friend of St. Therese, a resident priest of the Minor Basilica of St. John the Baptist in Taytay, and the composer of the award-winning song, Walk With Us, Dear Therese. Let us all welcome them with a warm applause. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Tita Oki.
much.
Thank you for that very generous and warm introduction. Good morning, brothers and sisters.
Good morning.
Let's say good morning. Can you please greet the person next beside you with your best smile, best Saturday morning smile? Greet naman kayo, ha? You seem lack of the energy because this particular podcast that we have, podcast format tayo, couch session, di ba, Father
Yes.
Franz? Kayo yung live audience natin for our first hour, no holds barred, unfiltered, real talk discussion for our fourth talk. My name is Brother Joel Buenrostro, and I am joined by the very youthful, very wise. I've met him for the first time. He's just filled with energy and wisdom, Reverend Father Franz Baasis. Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Brother Joel. Good morning, everyone. Sabihin mo muna sa katabi mo, love ka ni Lord.
Love, come
Ayan. Sabi ni Brother Chris, ni Father
Carl.
Carl,
Yeah.
no? Sabi ni Father Carl sa atin kanina, that's the devotion of St. Therese. Love.
Love. And kanina, what we were both... Hello. When we were both listening, I'm sure you were all entertained by talk number 3 of our St. Therese talk series. So this happens to be the fourth talk. Hopefully not the end of this series, Father Franz. And we'll have more, but definitely this will be sort of like the culmination of the series, talk series for St. Therese.
Yes, so parang kumbaga, Brother Joel, ito na yung summary din
Right,
ng lahat ng mga talk natin simula session 1, 2, and 3. And this fourth one, syempre kailangan natin, kumbaga parang malasap or malasahan kung ano nga ba talaga yung spirituality ni St. Therese, especially how we can practice it.
True, very true. And earlier during the introduction, Father Franz, sabi sa introduction, you were a very close friend of St. Therese. Kailan nag-start yung friendship mo with St. Therese?
Yes, no? Naabutan ko nga yung kay Father Carl na talk na yung kwento niya tungkol sa kanyang pagmamahal din kay St. Therese. Ako din po, ganun din. Humihingi din ako sa kanya lagi ng rose. At ang tawag ko sa kanya ay jowa. No? Siya yung jowa ko. No? Actually, nung sinabi ko to dati kay Bishop Francis, sabi ko, jowa ko po si St. Therese. Nagalit. Kasi siya rin daw, jowa din daw siya ni
Ang
St.
dami naman jowa ni
Sabi,
St.
dami
Therese.
naman jowa nito ni St. Therese. Pero totoo,
Di ba?
ang daming mga bishops, ang daming mga pare, tinuturing si St. Therese sa spiritual girlfriend. Alam mo, Brother Joel, nung parang confirmation ko na jowa ko talaga si St. Therese, nung sumali ako ng songwriting competition,
Right.
sabi ko sa kanya, kapag ito nakapasok man lang at least top 10 doon, parang sinasabi mo sa akin, St. Therese, sinasagot mo na ako.
Oo. Hindi ka lang sinasagot. Love na love ka
Ayun
talaga
nga,
ni
hindi lang,
St.
gulat ako,
Therese.
wala. So sabi ko, ay hindi lang pala ako jowa ni St. Therese, talagang mahal na mahal niya ako. Ayan.
Hindi lang love na love, one true love.
Kayo din naman, Brother Joel, kayo din ay isang close friend ni St. Therese, tama ba?
Right. Ako naman, before I was a close friend of St. Therese, ako ay close friend ni Santa Lucia kasi that's where I eat and I do my shopping sa Santa Lucia Grand Mall. But ever since I started serving dito po sa parokya ko, I become very close and very much attached to Saint Therese. Of course, knowing her story mamaya. Earlier, you heard her story, but we'll do a deeper dive in terms of the psychology of Saint Therese.
Therese.
Pero from last week, let's just recap of what happened last week. So we covered, Father Franz, yung foundation topics. Every series would have the foundation topics. So the life story of Saint Therese and her spirituality. We had powerhouse speakers. Were you able to catch the replay?
Si Father Jenny Diwang nagbigay sa atin nung first session. No? Si Father Jenny Diwang talaga, mahal na yan si Saint Therese. Isa yan sa mga karibal ko din kay Saint Therese.
Right.
He's the CBCB president for the liturgy.
And we also have
Executive
Miss
Secretary.
Marina Tapang, author and translator of Story of a Soul from French to Filipino.
Yes.
So talagang, if you weren't able to catch last week's episode or last week's talk, it's still available. It's still being shown. It's being streamed. Tama ba sa ating Saint Therese Facebook page?
Yes. And this morning, no, nakasama natin si Father Carl.
Ako tuwa ako kay Father Carl kanina. I mean,
Ganda ng
he just
talk niya.
humanized Saint Therese in a lot of ways. Even some of the controversial stories that she shared, we didn't know that.
Yung yung sinabihan niya yung nanay niya, mamatay ka na sana.
Di ba? Ako sabihan ako ng anak ko, Daddy, mamatay ka na. Di ba?
Grabe talaga yun.
Or I want to go to hell. Di ba?
Yun, di ba? Tayo pag sinabihan tayo, go to hell. Gagalit ka. Pero si Saint Therese, I will go to hell.
Diba? Naging benediction because of course she wants to bring, that love for God to hell. Okay. So, ito na nga. So, this is the last talk of a culmination of the series, Journeying with Saint Therese, the psychology of course, our dear beloved patron saint. Okay, so Father Franz, help us with our session because we have a special guest.
Yes.
Special guest. I know she is a very busy person. She is an expert, of course, in psychology. Father Franz, you want to introduce our speaker for this morning?
Okay, our speaker today has a strong background in guidance counseling and psychology with over 21 years of experience. Her dedication to supporting young individuals through counseling, program development, and psychoeducation is clearly evident in her professional work. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Psychology, a Master's degree in Guidance and Counseling, and a Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling Psychology, majoring in Clinical Counseling. She is a licensed and registered guidance counselor and currently serves as one of the university counselors at the Counseling and Psychological Services, or CPS, office in the La Salle University. She also serves as Corporate Secretary of Educational Counselors and Psychologists of the Asia Pacific and as an active member of the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association and the Psychological Association of the Philippines. Bigatin talaga to, Brother Joe.
Oo, hindi lang to
biro-biro lang na speaker.
We made sure we had someone who could really talk about the psychology of Saint Therese.
Para kinakabahan na ako sa mga
Hindi ko alam kung ano
natin sa
itatanong ko rin sa kanya. At hopefully we'll be able to bring to life, of course, some of the findings on how she, I would say, sort of assess the behavior and also yung psychology. I mean, just the statement earlier, go to hell, or I mean, that's very unusual for a young nun, di ba? Who speak like that. So we will try to understand that.
Okay. No? And hindi lang naman siya talaga doon lang nag-excel. No? Even sa ating faith din. No? Kasi she's deeply devoted in her faith. She is a former leader of Signal of Christ and is known as an active member of Handmaids of the Lord.
Ka-community pala yan. SFC, then became Handmaids of the Lord.
She has represented the Philippines 3 times as a volunteer of the World Youth Day in Poland, Panama, and Portugal, reflecting her commitment to the global youth ministry and service.
Nice. It's nice.
As sought-after resource speaker, she conducts seminars and workshops in the fields of guidance, counseling, and psychology. She regularly speaks on topics related to mental health, positive psychology, self-care, and personal and social career development for the youth, young professionals, and adults. Beyond her professional commitments, she actively volunteers with the organizations that serve youth, young professionals, and underserved communities. She's also part of the core team of the International Association of Catholic Mental Health Ministers, Philippines chapter and serves as a member of Technical Working Group for Mental Health Ministry under the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, Healthcare Ministry, reflecting her strong advocacy for inclusive mental health support, holistic well-being, and community empowerment. So talagang napapanahon itong ating speaker na
Alam mo, mukhang hindi siya busy, no? With
Hindi
all
naman
those
busy.
affiliation and
At may oras pa siya para
involvement.
dito.
Kaya nga sabi ko, we're so blessed that she
Yes.
is here with us this morning.
So, pinapakilala natin, known as Doc Chris, Dr. Maria Cristina Firmante.
Palakpakan natin. Round of applause to Sister Chris or Dr. Chris. Good morning.
Good morning, Father
Good morning,
Joel.
morning.
Good morning,
Oh.
Father.
Buka
Magandang
dito.
umaga po sa lahat. So, I am humbled and blessed to be with you all this morning. So, like you, Father Franz and Brother Joel, ako rin, no, devotee rin ako ni Saint Therese, and I met her when I was in high school.
Oh.
I'm so fascinated with her little ways. And parang even in throwing the wrap of the candy, she offers it to the Lord. And I was so fascinated about it. Kaya pag nakakakita po ako ng balat ng candies, siya yung naaalala ko. So I have to keep the wrap of my candy dito sa bulsa ko. Or else, tititigan ako ni Saint Therese. Huwag mong itatapon-tapon lang yan. So that's my story with Saint Therese.
We are
It's
really
nice, no? Every
blessed.
time na may hawak ka na candy wrapper or basura, no? Parang Saint Therese is watching.
Exactly.
We are really blessed to have you, Sister Chris. We thought it would be very difficult to find a Saint Therese-friendly guidance counselor here in the Philippines. Pero meron, at least.
Oo, I mean, I'm sure when Sister Karen was looking for a speaker, siguro talagang it's a challenge, no? Pero we are just so blessed na nandito si Sister Chris, di ba? To join us this morning. So Father Franz, how do we start this? And I've heard you were our angel who conceptualized this particular topic, the psychology of Saint Therese. And the moment we actually saw, and of course our team saw the topic, they gave you an immediate thumbs up.
Yes, no? Brother Joel, no? Dr. Chris, meron kasi tayong kasabihan, di ba, na every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. Hindi rin excuse dyan sa Saint Therese. Meron siyang mga past experiences, may mga struggles din
Right.
siya na sa tingin natin, yun din yung tumulong sa kanya para siya maging saint.
Yeah, and even just looking at her backstory, parang sa mga Marvel movies, looking at her backstory, she really lived a very imperfect life.
Yes.
Diba? But the journey eventually perfected her. Diba? And of course, she was very young, and right, what she was experiencing during that time was, I believe, things that our current young people experience today.
Kaya itong talk din natin na to, kailangan to ng mga kabataan natin sa panahon natin ngayon. So marami namang kabataan yung nanonood, ano? Puro
Pakitaas
Gen
nga
Z.
yung mga kamay ng kabataan.
Puro mga Gen Z yung nanonood.
Kasinungalingan. Hindi, loko lang.
Yung mga
They were young ones.
Brother Joel, mga Gen Z yung mga yan. Gen Senior Citizens.
Okay, Father Carl, ha? Gusto ko yung
Gen
joke na
Z.
yan. Gen Z.
mga Gen Z. Hello po mga Gen Z. Taas ang mga kamay ng mga Gen Z!
Gen Z.
Ayan.
Senior citizen.
Okay.
And of course, we were talking about a lot of the mental health issues experienced by the youth, and even the older people also experience it. We are not spared by this particular problem, and I know, Chris, you have a lot of insights to share about, of course, this particular topic on mental health. You're speaking. You're a licensed guidance counselor. You talk to a lot of youth who goes through or sadness, extreme sadness. Hindi lang sadness, extreme sadness leading to depression, anxiety.
At kailangan din siyempre po itong malaman ng marami sa atin, lalo na ngayon may parang stigma no, na nangyayari sa paligid natin na pag depressed ka, ganun ang tingin sa'yo. Marami mga tao, parang ang baba ng tingin doon sa mga ganitong gawain. So, I think kailangan natin talaga yung ganitong talk para mas maliwanagan yung bawat isa sa atin. Ano nga ba talaga tong mental health problem, issues na nangyayari din sa paligid natin.
And not to sound political, of course, there's this senator who says na our youth daw is weak.
Ay, yun nga, nabalitaan ko yan.
And I beg to disagree.
Nabalitaan
They're not
ko
weak,
yan.
they're just going through certain things. Di ba?
Kaya nga, ewan ko ba?
Ayaw nga.
No comment
Let's set aside,
na
of course, that for days.
Sagot po tayo dyan later.
No comment na lang. So, yun nga po, Miss Chris, no, talagang, di ba, totoo naman yun, nangyayari yun sa mundo natin ngayon, sa paligid natin ngayon, especially sa generation din talaga ngayon, talagang merong parang malalim na issues. Tama po ba yun, Miss Chris?
Yes. Actually, no po, in relation to the story of Saint Therese, even during the time of Saint Therese, emotional challenges are there. It's just that mental illness or the struggle that she is experiencing during that time is not yet recognized. That can be toll on her mental health, but it's there. So just like this time, our youth, adult, no, are experiencing difficulties. And at times, ito pong mga difficulties na to, itong mga challenges na to, can make a toll on your mental health. And if not properly guided, hindi ma-handle well, it can even lead into mental illness or disorder. So it's happening. It's there. So, ayun yung mundo natin ngayon eh. Noon hindi recognized, but this time it is. Physical health is the same as mental health.
So, Brother Joel, Dr. Chris, no, marami tayong topics para dyan. Pero pumili lang yata tayo, Brother Joel.
Yeah, we will be focusing, of course, some of the major issues and challenges our youth is experiencing right now. And, you know, like what Sister Chris mentioned, Saint Therese grew up as emotionally an unguided child, sent to a convent. Diba? Parang isipin mo, pag when you lost your mother, then your father sends you to a convent. Siguro a lot of things were just, you know, going on her young mind that she could not process. Diba? And these are the things, of course, that some of our youth are also experiencing, some of those unguided emotions. Diba?
Ano yun, ano? Unguided emotions. No? So, actually po, di ba, yun simula bata pa sa St. Therese, di ba, Dr. Chris? Actually po, meron akong, kikwento ko lang
Sige.
po, ano, nung kiniconceptualize niya namin ito, meron akong isang kaibigan din na madre na guidance counselor. Pinagawa ko siya, sabi ko, hindi pa naman kasi siya umuo for this talk, pero sayang. Nung makakasama din sana natin siya. So, siyang guidance counselor. Tapos, kamukha niya si St. Therese. And devoted din siya ni St. Therese.
French din siya?
Hindi naman.
Hindi ba?
No, dahil kakagraduate, kakakuha
Okay,
niya lang
okay.
ng
Very young lang,
license.
very young.
Kaka-take niya lang ng exam recently and kakapasan niya lang din. Pinagawa ko siya sabi ko, case study. Sabi ko, pwede mo bang gawa ng case study si St. Therese? Kung paano, kunwari, pag nagpa-counseling sa'yo si St. Therese, ano yung isasagot mo sa kanya? So yun kaya itong una nating topic na pag-uusapan, Brother Joel, tama, is about the experiences ng mga kabataan ngayon, yung tinatawag nga natin na unguided emotion, no? Na kung saan parang actually, tinatawag natin sila lagi na parang immature or kaya kung ano-ano mga bagay, no? Pero
Immature, childish.
Oh,
If we
childish.
could have a lot of adjectives to describe it, especially for parents,
Na-
parang arty-arty lang
oh,
yan.
arte-arte lang yan,
Diba?
ano? Pero in reality, they're actually just unguided. No, kung sa titingnan natin, kasi baka hindi lang naman sila yung may problema, baka yung nasa paligid din nila. So, sa buhay kasi hindi naman ni St. Therese, mapalad siya. Merong nag-guide sa kanya, merong grace siyang na-receive. No, nung kanyang nag-struggle siya sa magulang niya, sa kanyang paglaki. Actually, nasabihan niya din siyang immature di ba? Kasi, di ba, parang kung ano yung gusto niya, yun yung dapat niyang makuha. No?
Sounds familiar ba?
Napaka-maldita, kumbaga.
Di ba? For those who have children, younger children, di ba? Talagang,
Di ba,
they
nagalit siya.
would do things that they just feel doing.
Nagalit siya sa papa niya, di ba? Nagtampo siya, nagtago siya sa kwarto niya kasi hindi niya makuha yung gusto niya. So maraming mga...
Tantrums,
Yun
no?
din, no?
Tantrums.
maraming ganyan din sa mga kabataan natin. So, paano po ba yung tinitignan natin in line of your work and experience?
Oh, siguro align natin her experience in the current state of course, the mental health of our youth today.
Okay. So siguro po no, before I dig in on that, let's try to check on first the story of Saint Therese. So when she was at young age, losing a mother, a primary caregiver really gave you an effect. No? It happens and may epekto yon sa kanyang emotional regulation. There is an attachment issue. Merong fear of abandonment. Hindi siya makapag-self-soothe. Because during that time, when she was so young, dyan pa lang po nade-develop ang ating maturity. And there is a need for guidance. So proper support is very important during that time. So yung self-soothing sa kanya, hindi niya talaga mapakalma yung sarili niya. Because at adolescent stage, 10 to 13, dyan pa lang po, no, nag-start yung maturity ng bata. At guidance is very important. Like, yung in science, yung prefrontal cortex natin, who is the one responsible for the decision-making, mag-regulate ng emotion, hindi pa po siya mature. So definitely, the experience of Saint Therese, yung sinasabi niyo po no, ni Saint Therese na nagtatantrum si Saint Therese, iyak siya ng iyak, nagdadabog, nagtatago sa room. That one, I guess, no, yung cry in her is not a sign of weakness, but a little child who is grieving because of the loss. A grieving child who is crying for help. And that we can also look into to what's happening to our youth, to our children, no? Single po ako, wala po akong anak. But I guess, no, all my clients, I see them as a soul, as a child, no? So definitely, makikita niyo rin po yun, no? Hindi porket nagtatantrums lang siya because meron siyang gusto. So we really have also to listen where the kid is coming from. So guidance is very important. And I guess in Saint Teresa's life, ang nakatulong sa kanya is the sister. So yung sister niya, naging protective factor sa kanya. Sa psychology, tinatawag po natin ang mga support system as part of protective factors that can help navigate yung emotion, yung pagkakakilanlan sa sarili, no, and the like. So, in that protective factors na meron siya, including her sister, help her navigate yung emotion na meron siya eventually.
Oh, mga sister, yung mga kapatid niya na mga
older siblings, no? Especially the ate.
Oh, sina
The ate.
Cerise.
The ate.
No, pero di ba Dr. Chris, sa buhay din ni Saint Therese, yung mga ate niya na yun, parang naramdaman niya rin na parang iniwan siya. No, sa Story of a Soul, yun yung isa din sa mga heartbreaks ni Saint
Hang-ups niya yun, di ba?
Parang iniwan ako ng ate ko para pumasok sa convent. No, so nandun din yung parang lost. No, tapos kung titignan mo daw, kung nakapunta na daw po kayo sa Lisieux, kung may tinanong na may kapitbahay pa sina Saint Therese, no, titignan mo yung bahay nila, wala. So, wala talaga siyang ibang mga
there's
kasama.
sort of like isolation talaga during her time. You know, losing her mother, yung mga ate niya weren't around, or probably they were around pero very limited siguro din yung interaction niya. Of course, they don't have neighbors. She doesn't have playmates. Walang kapitbahay, di ba?
Kapitbahay.
So,
Kaya, sabi niya ni Dr. Chris, no, yun na lang yung mga kapatid niya na lang sana maasahan niya. Pero, di ba, yun, kahit yung mga kapatid niya, iniwan din siya. Di ba po? Kaya parang sobrang lungkot talaga ni Saint Therese. No?
yeah. So, yeah, just like our youth today, they experience, as much as they would have these moments of being happy, they also have those moments of being sad for a lot of reasons.
Tsaka, Dr. Chris, ewan ko po kung magka-agree kayo sa akin dito. No? Kasi, di ba kadalasan, yun nga, mga kapatid, di ba, nakikita natin yung mga youth, parang ang bilis magtampo, ganyan-ganyan. Pero, actually, pinapangalanan lang nila yung nararamdaman nila. Tama ba yun, Dr. Chris?
Exactly. Actually po, no, I guess the key for us to understand one another is we openly communicate. And when I said we openly communicate not only for our son or daughter, just to listen to ano yung gusto mo lang sabihin sa kanya. But at the same time, you are also receptive to what your child is telling you. Listen to what they are not saying to you. It's there. Kasi kita po nila yun eh. Our youth today, they are navigating a lot of changes. The maturity of the youth is very different from the generation in the past. When I said po ganun, they are exposed this time sa technology. Ano po? So they are advanced on that area, advanced sa social media, they are become more aware, they are become more opinionated, they feel deeply. You know? And again, they are need to be listened to as well. So tama po yun, no, Father Franz. I can agree on that. No, na at times yung nakikita niyo sa anak niyo, it's an expression na I wanted to be heard. No? And sana pagkaroon tayo ng usap. Na ganun po, no?
Tama po yun. Meron lang din po kong gustong i-share sa inyo para sa kaalaman ng lahat ng nandirito. Kasi baka hindi rin sila aware, lalong-lalo na sa mga magulang, sa mga Gen Z na nandirito. No? Alam niyo po, yung meron ng study ngayon daw na actually, ang paggamit ng social media ngayon ng mga kabataan, medyo pababa na. No, medyo kumukonti yung oras nila sa paggamit ng social media. No, sana sila mas lalong tumatambay? Sino na yung mas lalo nilang laging kinakausap? Actually, kung titignan natin sa social media, maganda pa yan eh. Kasi at least yung kausap mo dyan, alam mo, kapwa mo tao din eh. Diyan tayo nakakapag-usap, message, ganyan-ganyan. Pero yung mga youth ngayon, unti-unti, hindi na sa social media naghahanap ng kausap. Alam niyo kung saan? Sa artificial intelligence.
Or AI.
AI. Doon yun lagi nilang kausap. Pag may problema sila, hindi sila sa magulang nila nagpupunta. Sa AI. Kasi si AI, mas maganda yung sagot kaysa sa magulang nila. Yun yung lagi nilang pakiramdam eh. Kasi yung mga kabataan ngayon, di ba, at least si St. Teres, wala pang AI nung time na yun. At wala siya talagang choice na sabihan. It's either yung kanyang parents, ang kanyang mga kapatid, or si God ang kausap niya. Ngayon, may another option na in-offers ang mundo. Si AI. Ngayon, alam niyo ba, kahit daw sa ibang mga bansa, yun pa yung gusto nilang mapangasawa nga eh. Yung AI, nangyayari yan. No? Kasi nga, siguro naka-experience sila ng rejection sa magulang, siguro nag-open sila sa ibang tao, sa kanilang kaibigan, pero hindi sila tinanggap. Kaya nagre-result siguro na kausapin na lang nila yung inaakala nilang nakakaintindi sa kanila. Pero mas malungkot yun at nakakatakot siguro, no?
Yeah.
Exactly. Mas nakakatakot po yun, no? More than anything else. Because the child itself, no, siya lang yung nagpa-process ng lahat-lahat ng sinasabi ng kausap niyang AI. No? And it is more risky, that is more harmful than helpful. Kaya yun nga, no, the challenge in today's family relationship is for us to really have an open, no, relationship in the family. Not being imposed, no, but yung maramdaman nila at makita yung model of authenticity. Like, when I said model of authenticity, that kayo po, no, na mga devotee ni St. Teres na nandito, no, model of authenticity is also telling to your child, no, to your family, na meron ding mga hardship sa buhay. At ano yung mga pinagdadaanan. No? We cannot really also impose agad na gayanin nila kung ano yung meron ka at the moment. No? Pero yung mag-guide natin siya, unti-unti, kung nasa saan ka. If you think that you serving the church is one of your protective factors that you would like also your daughters and sons to acquire with, mahalagang makita nila na sincere ka sa ginagawa mo. No? Kasi, Father, no, at times, ang faith, para siyang nagiging rule sa mga bata. Oh, bawal kang umiyak sa simbahan, magagalit si Father. Bawal umiyak, magagalit ang Diyos.
Bakit ganun, no? Ginagawa nilang parang katatakutan si Father, no?
No.
Kaya magulo, gagalit si Father.
Meron niya akong experience yun eh. Pinanakot ako ng magulang. Sabi, uy, yan na si Father, lagot ka, papaluin ganyan. Eh, nilapit ako, high five!
So definitely po, no? Talagang we should be the one to model yung authenticity of the experiences na meron tayo sa ating mga kabataan. No? And kasama po doon yung challenges. Kasi yung maturity ni Saint Therese na hopefully ma-acquire ng mga kabataan is that she did not suppress her emotional difficulty. Rather, ang ginawa ni Saint Therese is that she acknowledged it and she tried to do her best to look for ways that can help her. So, ay, ganun din po, no? So parang doon na parang nag-start yung kanyang little way. So it's just saying kahit sa mga kabataan na it's okay not to be okay. Even if you are facing a lot of difficulties, your baby step matters. So I would not say that our kabataan, our youth are weaker. Rather, I'll say that they are navigating with a lot of stressor. At kasama po doon yung economic, cultural, family. So maraming barriers, maraming factors.
Okay? Sister Chris, we take a step back. Of course, we talk about certain emotions. So, ang tawag nga namin dyan yung SAD or SAD. So, S stands for stress, A stands for anxiety, and D stands for depression. Okay? So, these are the things Saint Therese had growing up. And with the traumatic loss, of course, mentioned earlier of her mother, and the circumstance she had during her time, ito yung mga emotional struggles she was able to experience and overcome. Father Franz, can you provide some insights on, like, during her time, how was she able to overcome that SAD?
Yes, no? During her time, kasi di ba, titingnan po natin, sadness, anxiety, and depression. Tama po ba, Doctor? Meron si Saint Therese kung titignan na naman natin, although hindi siya officially na-diagnose with those, pero may possibility, no? Kung meron nung time na yun na mag-check up sa kanya, siguro meron din siya nung time na yun. At siguro sa face din ng buhay ng tao, na pagtataanan talaga natin yun, ano? Lalong-lalo na ng bata sa Saint Therese. No, maganda yung to kanina ni Father Carl, no, na pinakita niya doon yung sabi niya, nung bata siya, Mama, I wish na sana mamatay ka na. Pero di niya kasi yun naiintindihan. Kaya nung namatay naman yung nanay niya, nalungkot siya. Diba? Nalungkot siya kasi, iba pala pag nawala yung nanay ko. Iba pala, tapos ngayon sumunod din yung mga kapatid niya nawala din sa kanyang buhay. Tapos, isa pa yung nakakalungkot na nangyari sa kanya, mayroon siyang gusto. Gusto niya ring makapasok na sa convent. Pero hindi siya pinayagan. So, di ba, ang hirap noon para sa isang bata, sa isang minor, na yung mga pangarap mo, yung mga gusto mong gawin, yung mga gusto mong maranasan, hindi mo magawa. Pero, anong meron dun kay Saint Therese? No? Meron siya, nakita niya, yung grace na tinatawag natin. Yung biyaya. Yung isa sa mga pinakamagandang kwento ni Saint Therese is the Christmas miracle. Di ba pinag-uusapan na natin ngayon yung nagtatampo si Saint Therese. Pero paano na-overcome ni Saint Therese yung experience na yon, ng sadness, anxiety, and depression? That is through that Christmas miracle kung tawagin. No? Ano yung Christmas miracle? Yung biglang nagtatampo siya kasi wala siyang regalo. bakit wala akong regalo, Papa?
Ako rin magtatampo pag wala akong regalo.
Bakit hindi yung gusto
Di
kong
ba?
regalo yung binigay mo?
Mhm.
Bakit ito lang? Diba? So, tampo siya nun. Pero, after that, nagdasal siya, kinausap niya si God, pagbaba niya, okay na siya. And tinawag na yung Christmas miracle. So, bakit siya naging Christmas miracle? No? Actually, kung titignan natin, hindi naman talaga yun miracle na parang biglaan. No? She just actually acknowledged, sabi nga ni Doc Chris, yung kanyang emotion. Nagalit siya, nagtatampo siya. At siguro ang kanyang counselor that time, una si Our Lady of Smiles. The Our Lady of Victory, kasi nginitaan siya eh. And also, si God. No, parang nakita niya yung grace na, oo nga pala. No? Doon siya naliwanagan sa lahat ng kanyang nararamdaman at nararanasan. Napangalanan niya kasi eh. Diba? Yung kanyang experience. At nagkaroon ng response, hindi lang through an ordinary counselor, kundi doon sa tinatawag natin na grace. Mula kay God. No? Pag sinabi natin grace, yan yung galing kay God. Regalo mula kay God. So, she acknowledged that moment, kaya naintindihan niya yung sarili niya. So, siguro tayo din, baka kayo din yung kailangan natin, no? Magdasal, una. Magdasal ng biyaya para maintindihan natin yung una, yung nararamdaman natin at nararanasan natin. Sumunod, kung gusto natin din makaunawat sa nararanasan ng iba na SAD, no? Ayun, kailangan din natin ipagdasal yung biyaya na makaunawa at makaintindi. Malay nyo, tayo yung maging miracle din para sa ibang tao. Diba? Katulad ng ginagawa ngayon ni Dr. Chris, diba? Sa kanyang mga apostolates, sa kanyang mga advocacies. Actually, siya yung isang biyaya ng Diyos sa mga kabataan natin ngayon para mas maintindihan nila, malaman nila, maunawaan nila yung nararanasan at nararamdaman nila. So, you are a grace, Dr. Chris.
Chris lang pangalan niya.
Chris na Grace.
So, Sister Chris, of course, yung naranasan ni St. Therese, of course, they were normal because of the circumstance. Pero, how do you think she was, well, aside from that Christmas miracle that happened, so, paano sa tingin niyo na-overcome ni St. Therese yun in your clinical way of explaining things?
Of course, no, during that time, I guess what helped St. Therese is yung kanyang personality traits. So sabi ko nga kanina, she did not suppress her emotion, whether that is a difficult emotion in a difficult situation. Rather, merong emotional awareness po kay St. Therese, no? And emotional awareness is very important. So, ano siya, yung kita niya, ina-accept niya kung ano yung nangyayari sa kanya. It's not easy, pero she tried also her best. Emotional awareness, ito yung core or growth for us. So, emotional awareness is self-awareness. Right? Aware siya. And we know na self-awareness is not enough if we are not doing anything about it. Aware ka lang, for example, for our youth who's with us, na aware ka na malapit ka nang bumaksak sa subject mo, but you're not doing anything about it, then I don't think so miracle will happen. Diba? So,
Nag-wait sila ng Christmas miracle, no? Pagbabagsak na sila.
Second, na nakita ko na traits din na meron kay St. Therese that our youth can also look into is that yung secure attachment and trust, no? When it is received, no? Mas magiging maayos po, no? Sa ating mga kabataan. So, yung fear of abandonment, yung loss, yung alam nila na meron silang pupuntahan, meron silang mapapagsabihan, that's enough. Third po siguro is yung meron sa kanyang radical acceptance and hope, no? Kay St. Therese, that this too shall pass. No, it's easy to say, di ba po, no? Pero yung full surrender sa Kanya and hope na perhaps she also received through being reflective eh. Kasama yun sa traits niya, reflective siya. At yung pagiging reflective niya, she's into writing, she's into prayer, at pairing yun as a trait of someone, hindi lang for our youth, no? In counseling, we help our students do journaling, to be reflective, to assess what's happening, to reframe yung cognitive thinking nila about themselves, the stigma that they are creating. And si Saint Therese, ganun, reflective siya. Ginagawa niya yun into meditation, into prayer. And I guess last, yung growth mindset. Yung growth mindset is a decision. Meron siyang decision na I don't want me to be in this situation forever. I wanted to grow. Merong decision on her part. And I guess that's the challenge for our youth also. Would you like to be there? Or would you like to be a person that you would like to become? Kasi even if, we know that family is is the core of our foundation. But even if we have a family who is dysfunctional and all, meron pang ibang support na pwedeng pagkuhanan ng ating mga kabataan or kung ang family ay dysfunctional. Katulad ng kanilang mga coaches, yung mga tao sa ministry, no? So those can help develop, no, yung how a person view themselves along the way.
Totoo po yan, ano? Kasi, awan ko po, Dr. Chris, yung tinatawag natin self-awareness din, ano? Yung kanyang acknowledgement of her littleness. Can we say that it's also self-awareness?
Yes, exactly. Yung kanyang little ways, sabi ko kanina early on, no? Yung hindi niya yun sinuppress, instead, kinumbert niya yun doon sa little ways. That yung sacrifices niya is surrendering.
Wow.
So same goes like what I mentioned earlier, na for our youth, na nahihirapan, may pinagdadaanan, know that your baby step matters.
Wow.
And it's okay. No?
And Saint Therese was, of course, very blessed that she had that awareness. Tapos, of course, yung grasya ng Panginoon dumating sa kanya. That's why she played her cards right in terms of dealing with these emotions. Diba? She did the journaling, of course, those deep prayers. Pero our youth today, when they experience certain emotions, what do? They post their feelings in social media. And this is when we see a lot of unsolicited advice.
Yes.
They get canceled, they get bashed. Then, it just really messes up more yung pinagdaraanan ng youth instead. Kaya nga, mabuti talaga that we have that kind of support. Diba? The coaches, the ministries, diba? Good friends, I guess.
Yes.
Having good friends.
For awareness din ng mga nandito po ng mga Gen Z. No, alam niyo po ba minsan yung mga kabataan din natin? May mga kabataan pala tayo dito. No? Sorry, ilalaglag ko na kayo. No, mga youth natin din ngayon, meron silang tinatawag na dump account sa social media. Alam niyo ba yon? Hindi. Siyempre, hindi nila ipapaalam yun sa inyo. Kasi yung dump account na yun yung mga accounts na sa social media na hindi alam ng kanilang pamilya. Doon sila nagpo-post ng kanilang mga rants. Doon sila nagpo-post ng kanilang mga sama ng loob sa kanilang mga magulang. Doon sila nagpo-post ng nararamdaman nila at naranasan. Tinignan ko po ito, Dr. Chris, na yung ganitong nangyayari, no, yung ganitong pattern. Siguro, yung mga kabataan natin na pumasok sa ganitong klase ng account, pwede ba nating sabihin na siguro dahil wala silang nahanapang support sa kanilang family or sa kanilang friends, natakot silang ma-cancel?
Pwede din wala silang nakukuhang support sa church.
Sa church?
Di ba?
Kaya nangyayari yung mga ganitong pangyayari.
I can agree. There's a lot of things po, factors. Hindi lang naman siya sa loob ng bahay. The experiences that they have, the exposure na meron sila. Kasi I mentioned earlier, nandun yung start ng maturity. Adolescent stage, dyan pa lang po nakukulma yung maturity ng bawat isa bago ka mag-proceed sa adulthood. So, definitely, a lot of things changes and happening. And tama po yun, no, Father Franz, no, Brother Joel, na family play a major role, pero a lot of factors that we can consider. And again, guidance is very important, even in the ministry, even inside the Catholic. And I guess that's why you are here. This kind of conversation can open an opportunity to understand one another in the family. So, sa atin po, no, sa CBCP, meron tayong think before you click, no?
Think before you
click. O kaya, pray before you click.
Maganda yun kasi ngayon, ang labanan, fast fingers.
Pray before you share, think before you click.
Ayan, meron po tayong ganun. So, it can be, no, yung a source kapag wala ka ng mapuntahan at wala kang support na mapagsabihan, it can be a last resort for our youth to be heard. And the story of Saint Therese, no, yung pong kanyang pag-iyak, pagtatantrum, like what I mentioned, that is not a sign of weakness. It's a crying, grieving child. So it's a help for crying. And I guess, ganun din sa mga kabataan natin who is resorting to that resort. They are crying for help.
Brother Joel, Dr. Chris, nasa halfway pa lang tayo ng ating mga discussion. Pero baka yung audience natin, parang mga nakikita ko sa kanilang mga mata, may mga gusto silang sabihin or itanong.
So this is a good time to, of course, engage the audience for any questions, reactions, di ba? So maybe we can pass that microphone. Okay.
Halfway pa lang tayo, meron pa tayong mga susunod na dalawang topics.
May topics pa tayo, but of course,
pero dito sa unang dalawang part natin,
baka may mga low-hanging fruit questions kayo dyan.
About the unguided emotions and this SAD, baka meron kayong ma-share.
Baka may burning questions kayo dyan. Sige po. Yes, tita.
Morning.
Morning.
I just would like to share this on the part as educator. So I taught in almost all Catholic schools, and to think that these are all Catholic schools, and yet I encountered really very, very sad on my part for my students. So you know very well Ateneo, right?
Yes.
Parents expect the Atenean graduates or their Atenean children to really excel because you know how much the tuition fee is. So one case was one of my students actually committed suicide by drinking poison, I think, in their house because he couldn't meet the expectation of the parents. Though I'm not a guidance counselor, if I only knew that he has this kind of problem, I could have helped that. Because I also think that we teachers, aside from the parents and all the people around him, should actually be of help, right? So, though I cannot really say anything as a guidance counselor, but as a mother or parent and a teacher at the same time, so how I wish. I only knew that he committed because I didn't really know he died. I was just walking along the footpath in Ateneo when I saw his calling card. And I told his classmate, would you kindly give this to your classmate? And then he said something like, Mom, you didn't know? Which one? Already left. Left what? And then, only then. So I was really so sad, crying, how I wish I could help him. And the other one is, this one is, we as teachers, we also have to, you know, notice all our students. From the first semester to the second semester, you will notice that there are some students who's really different from the first semester. Normally, all these students of mine wanted to be a dean's lister, right? So they will approach me for their grades or whatever. So this student actually, I know she's always asking me to give her additional work or whatever, only to give her a higher grade. But unluckily, the second semester, she was actually just there at that corner, and she wouldn't even recite, even though I called her, and then I told her, can I talk to you after the class? So I really approached her because I can really see that she was really so down. And then she said something like, my mom died, and she said she wanted to follow her mom. And I said, I don't think your mom will be happy if you will follow her. Why don't you finish your course and prove to your mom that this is what you want, or maybe this is what she wanted. And after that, I was seeing her all around the campus, and I will say hello. I was like, hello, how are you now? Because I have to ask her every now and then, how is she now? Well, she actually improved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tita. That actually did happen in Ateneo. And there are instances that we don't see a lot of these indicators that may mga suicidal tendencies yung mga students. Or even, maganda siguro kung yung nakita nyo kagad, she was sitting in the corner, that's already red flag, di ba? Parang, sige, parang easy. Pero there would be those who look very normal, di ba? Who act very normal, pero magugulat ka na lang, they would take their own life. Sister Chris, what's your take on that?
Actually, oftentimes, hindi po talaga siya nakikita. Not unless it's really a red flag na sinasabi na talagang merong mga instances na sa bata. But oftentimes, it's not. Because maybe, why it's not being expressed, is because sinusuppress na nga lang ng mga bata yung nararamdaman because walang support na nakukuha. I recall one time a student of mine in my counseling session mentioned that my parent would say, just pray, magdasal ka. But I am praying, Miss Chris. It's not that I am praying, but I am sick. So, what does this child is telling? Siya nare-recognize nga na kailangan niya na magdasal. Na kailangan niya po ng medication or ng further assessment, hindi lang pagdadasal. So, faith and science can be together. Hindi po natin siya pwedeng alisin. Nasabihin na magdasal ka lang, everything will be okay. So, we have to recognize where the person is coming from. Ano yung struggle niya and further assessment. In prayer, it can be an internal protective factor to the child or to a person. So, further assessment is really needed po. Pero oftentimes, it's true that you cannot see, wala kang makitang kahit ano na symptoms that this will happen to this person. It's sad because yung battle na meron siya, that person is fighting alone. And that's so sad. Diba po? So, yeah, that's why you are here. That's why we are together. No po?
Sabi nga ni St. John Paul II, yung faith and reason are like two wings. Hindi ka makakalipad kung isa lang yung pakpak.
Hindi sila opposite, Father Franz.
Yes.
They go
Tulungan
hand in
sila.
hand.
Meron pa po.
The gentleman at the back.
Good morning, everyone. Good
Morning.
Brother, Dr. Christina and Brother Joel, no? Okay, if I may allow, may share lang ako that I agree with Dr. Christina yung sinabi niya regarding sa yung mga youth natin ngayon that we listen, no? I do not know if you can relate with that, paano natin pakinggan yung mga youth. But back then, when I was director principal ng isang school, I had a case na gusto ng faculty i-dismiss yung estudyante. Kasi ang nangyari, he was caught gambling in the school and drinking. No? So the parents came to me and asked for consideration. Sabi ko, write a letter addressed to me and I will present that to the faculty. No? So, gi-present ko sa faculty yung letter, but the teachers were so against it, no? Gusto nila i-dismiss yung estudyante. Finally, being the director or principal, ikaw yung fallback. You make the final decision. So I decided, I told them, this is what I said. And I can relate with Dr. Cristina. Sabi ko, if you're going to dismiss that boy, fourth year siya, third year pala siya. Sabi ko, if you're going to dismiss that boy for the rest of his life, he's going to remember us, that we have punished him, we have dismissed him. No? So yun, after that, siyempre, director, principal ka, you make the final say. Wala silang magawa. So I told the parents, sabi ko, I'm giving consideration, but may condition tayo, sabi ko sa parents. Of course, you cannot just make consideration na walang condition kasi administrative yun eh. No? Sabi ko, the conditions are blah, blah, blah. Isang mali ng estudyante ng anak mo, talagang dismiss ko na siya. No? Ito na, may ginawa ako. Of course, I cannot let the boy commit the mistake. As a director principal, coach din ako ng basketball. Kinuha ko siya because he's a very good basketball player. Kinuha ko siya and every day I told the boy, please report to my office. Pag-uusap tayo araw-araw. So, for the whole year of third year and fourth year, kausap ko siya araw-araw, kasama ko siya sa practice ng basketball. Finally, fortunately, gumaduate yung estudyante. So the parents were happy about it. No? So, yun lang siguro, mahabang istorya pero shortcut ko lang. But I just want to agree with Dr. Cristina and Father and Brother Joel what they're talking na kailangan natin pakinggan talaga. To the last, to the worst, whatever. Yun nga sabi ni Father kanina, love. Love. Yun ang yung love. Love means yung sacrifice. May suffering yun eh. Hindi pwede na sweetie-sweetie lang, no. Loving is may suffering, may cross talaga yan. No? And what I did exactly is a cross. I have to face it na ganoon ang mga young people. But we must not condemn them. We must not condemn them. Thank you.
Thank you for that sharing, of course, that experience. Totoo yan. Kasi sa totoo lang, automatic talaga when our youth would ask for help, our automatic response na, pagdasal mo yan, pray for that. Diba? Pero yun nga, gaya na sinabi ni Sister Chris, they just need a listening ear. We don't have to provide our thoughts. I mean, if we're, of course, allowed to share our thoughts, pwede naman. Pero kailangan lang talaga nilang to be heard.
Yes, kahit ako po bilang pare, merong mga lumalapit sa akin for pastoral counseling na ganito, ganyan. Pero pag nakita ko yung problem nila, hindi lang tungkol sa spiritual life, nire-refer ko sila, patingin tayo. Punta tayo sa isang psychologist, punta tayo sa isang counselor. Actually, yung kaibigan ko ang madre na guidance counselor, at least meron na akong alam na babatuhan ko ngayon ng tao. At ngayon, may bago kong nakilala, si Dr. Chris. Diba na mga tao na lumalapit din. Totoo, kailangan naman talaga, walang tatalo sa dasal. Wala. Alam natin yan, walang tatalo sa dasal. Pero may mga pagkakataon din kasi talaga na kailangan din nila ng psychological help. Kailangan nila talaga ng clinical counseling. At yun yung baka sagot sa dasal nila. No? Yun yung sagot sa dasal nila.
Siguro po, no, just to add, it doesn't mean that we listen, we just give right away. No? When I said that po is, pwede pa rin naman natin siyang tulungan ng disiplina. Pwede pa rin naman na merong i-follow eh. Basta alam niya bakit ko kailangan gawin to. No? Parang like what Sir mentioned po kanina, no? They accept the child again, no? That student in the class. Pero ito yung prerogative. So, meron pa rin siyang susundan at guided siya. So, hindi po ibig sabihin na mawawala naman ang disiplina. Pero maturuan ng proper discipline. No? with open
Medyo
communication.
dito related yung synodality. We really need to journey with these
Yes.
youth. We really have to journey with them.
Synodality, listening,
Listening.
walking together,
And
Accompaniment.
accompaniment. Yan. Pero what it requires, of course, your precious time.
yes.
Diba? Minsan kasi pag ganyan, it will inconvenient you. Diba?
So, Brother Joel, nandito na tayo. Parang connected din to sa susunod nating topic, no? The loss of the sense of the divine.
Oo. Talagang, ang dami talagang youth ngayon who just fell out of love with the church, with their faith. Their struggle of, yung pagsisimba lang, kinatatamaran nila. Pagdarasal, parang, it's just sort of like,
May question.
may question ba? Sige po.
Kasi as catechist po, wala namang counseling sa public school. So, ang experience po namin is limited. May program po kasi ang catechetical ministry na nagbibigay ng recollection every end of the year. So, may ano doon na magsusulat sila ng letter. So, yung mga letter ng mga bata, meron doon isang namomoles nung stepfather. So kami, limited yung yung capacity namin. Kasi, nung nirefer ko yun sa parish priest, hindi kami pwedeng to go beyond. Hanggang school lang po kami. And we're not in the position na mag-counsel dun sa bata. Kasi wala naman guidance counselor ang public school. So, up to what point po ba namin sila pwedeng... Kasi ang nangyari lang doon, ni-refer ko lang po siya doon sa advisor. So, after noon, wala na kaming... Hindi na na-process yung bata. So, ano po ba yung pwede namin gawain as catechist pag ganong situation sa mga students?
Reality, medyo konti lang po talaga yung mga guidance counselor natin sa public school, no? Pero I guess, unti-unti nagkakaroon po ng guidance counselor. I guess, yung step na ginawa niyo naman po, ma'am, of referring that student to the advisor is enough. No? Kasi kung sinasabi po sa inyo na for the catechist, ito lang yung boundary na meron kayo na ituro. Kailangan nyo pong balikan, ano po ba yung napagkasundoan ninyo doon sa school, hanggang saan. But you really have to check kasi makikita nyo po yun doon sa mga reflection paper ng bata. No? You really have to check kung risky ba ito or hindi. Kasi there are moments that it's okay to break confidentiality, especially if you're seeing that this student can be a harm for himself or herself. So, yun po, pwede nyo na pong i-divulge yung story nga na nabasa nyo. At baka nga makita specifically po, no, kung specific na yung gustong gawin ng bata dun sa reflection niya. So, more than the advisor, na malaman po ng adult, malaman ng pamilya kung anong pinagdadaanan ng batang ito. And hopefully, sana mabigyang atensyon, makaproceed into counseling or psychotherapy, or makaproceed into further assessment. But that's good na sinabi niyo po sa advisor. At least the advisor is aware na mayroong pinagdadaanan yung batang ito. And hopefully na-attendan yung bata.
Yeah. Ako, ang take ko lang dyan, always do the right thing. If you feel, of course, there is a need for further help, I mean, idulog nyo talaga to the right person or the right authority.
Ako din, kahit alam mo, struggle ng isang pare. Minsan yung mga ganyang kwento, lumalabas sa confession eh. Yung parang, paano ko to ilalabas? Yung paano ko to aalisin sa confession? Kaya, ang lagi kong parang way ko doon is, in-encourage ko siya, pinapalakas ko yung loob niya, na speak up. No? Kung pwede ko nga lang gawing penance, magsalita ka. Yun yung sasabihin kong penance sa kanya. Tumindig ka, tumayo ka, magsalita ka, isumbong mo kung anong kailangan mong isumbong. Ayun. So,
At pag kapag of course minor, meron po tayong tinatawag na duty to warn. So meron tayong responsible really to protect the child. And that's okay. So we really have to do things na maprotektahan yung bata. Kung ang harm po talaga ay very evident at minor.
Sige po, no?
Okay. So, we go to the point number 3. Yun nga na-mention mo kanina, Father Franz, yung the loss of the divine, yung nawawala na yung spirituality ng youth natin ngayon. Ito yung paniniwala sa Diyos because of the feeling of abandonment, desolation. Even when they pray, they feel na hindi sila pinakikinggan. We all went through this. Of course, we had our prayers na minsan unanswered. Did Saint Therese also experience this, Father Franz?
Yes, no? Siguro kahit sino namang saint, meron silang tinatawag na dark night of a soul. No? Dito sa dark night of a soul, dito hinuhubog talaga yung isang tao para mas lalong lumalim yung kanyang faith kay God. Yung ipinaparamdam sa iyo ni God na wala siya sa buhay mo. Pero, yun yung hahanap-hanapin mo. No? So, si Saint Therese, mapalad siya kasi na-experience niya ito na madre na siya. Nasa loob na siya ng convent. Yung dark night of a soul. Nung nakita niya ito, nung parang pag kinakausap niya raw si God, parang hindi siya sumasagot. Nasaan si God? Na dumating siya sa point na nagda-doubt na rin siya. Nagda-doubt na siya sa kanyang vocation, nagda-doubt na siya sa kanyang faith, nagda-doubt na rin siya sa kahit sa love na ginagawa niya. Na parang, may katuturan pa ba to? Totoo pa ba talaga ito? No? At dumadating kahit sinong santo sa ganyang buhay. And I believe marami sa atin dito, may mga ganon din phases sa buhay natin. Na kung saan parang nasaan si God sa buhay natin. Ngayon, sa panahon natin ngayon, nilagay natin din itong topic na ito, Doc Chris, Brother Joel, sa ating pag-uusapan ngayon. Loss of the sense of the divine. Kasi may mga kabataan na siguro dumadaan ngayon din sa phase na yon, pero hindi nila alam kung ano yung gagawin. Lalong-lalo na sa panahon natin ngayon. Na ang akala nila, pag hindi na nila naramdaman si God, wala na si God. Si Saint Therese, mapalad siya. Kasi meron siyang spiritual director na tumulong sa kanya that time. And kanyang mother superior, tsaka si Celine, di ba? Tinulungan siya ni Celine doon sa phase na yon. Pero maraming mga youth ngayon, walang tumutulong. Halimbawa po, kinanta ko na nga ito kina Brother Joel no before, isa sa nakakalungkot na nangyayari sa mga kabataan, hindi nila alam kung kanino kakapit. Kaya kung saan-saan sila kumakapit. Kumakapit sila saan? Sa barkada, sa drugs, sa lust, sa fame, dahil naghahanap sila ng sense of worth. Diba? Naghahanap sila ng magpapasaya sa kanila. Kaya akala nila, ito yung magpapasaya sa akin. Isa din, sa nakakalungkot din na nangyayari ngayon, kahit sa loob ng simbahan, sa mga parishes, nasaan ang kabataan? Isang ang tanong ko sa atin, no? Nasaan yung youth natin ngayon dito? Ang sasagutin na sa atin, busy po ako sa work. Busy po ako sa aral.
Sa school.
Busy po ako sa school, busy po ako sa ganito. Wala na silang time para saan? Sa church. Wala na silang time sa pagdadasal. Bakit mas pinipili ng mga kabataan ngayon yung career kaysa sa pagsaserve? Bakit mas pinipili ng mga kabataan ngayon yung saya na meron dun sa pag-aaral kaysa sa saya ng pagsaserve? Nakakatakot yon. Kasi, bilang isang pare, napapansin ko din yan. No? Kaya nga dati nung kami may solemn declaration sa Taytay, no? Maraming mga kabataan gustong mag-serve. Natuwa ako noon. Ang sagot lang nila sa akin, Father, meron kasi kaming pasok. Tinanong ko sa kanila, anong gusto mo? Yung solemn declaration na once in a lifetime walang may experience o yung klase na pwede mo pang habulin? Father, syempre, yung solemn declaration, once in a lifetime lang yan eh. O sige, ako nang gagawa ng excuse letter mo. Kaya nakapag-serve sila. Pero, sabi ko, kayo, malapit na yung solemn declaration nyo. Pag sinagot kaya kayo ng mga youth natin ngayon, Father, may school kami.
Weekday pa man din yung
Weekday pa
solemn
naman yun.
declaration natin.
Ano kaya ang gagawin natin? Ano kaya ang mas pipiliin nila? Diba? Actually, may problem din dito is actually nasa atin minsan sa parish, minsan sa atin sa simbahan. Baka wala tayong ginagawa para maging good example sa mga kabataan. Meron lang akong share lang din, sandali lang ito. Ewan ko po dito sa inyong parish. Pero sa parish namin, meron kami naging, ewan ko sa mga mother butler din namin. No? Meron silang naging rule ngayon na bawal daw yung mga kabataan na mag-serve. Bawal daw silang humawak ng ganito.
No?
Tapos sabi ko, itong mga mother butler na to, sabi ko, tingnan niyo na lang yung grace na yon. May mga kabataan na gustong mag-serve. Bakit yung pinagbabawalan? Sabi po sa amin, bawal daw po sila. Sabi ko, sabi naman dati ni Father Noel, pwede yan O bakit ngayon ayaw nyo na sa mga kabataan natin na mag-serve sila? No, kasi para sa akin kasi merong problema din ngayon Maraming mga babae na gustong maging sakristan. Pero dahil bawal ang sakristan sa diocese, ang maganda nga nilang pwedeng pagsaserve sana, yung pagiging mother butler. Kaya, ayan. Pero, pati ba naman yan, pagbabawalan natin? Sabi ko, ang lungkot naman nun. Kako. Kaya suggestion ko sa kanila, hindi. Ituloy nyo yan. Kailangan yan ng mga kabataan. Naghahanap sila, yan na nga yung kakapitan nila. Isadalahin natin sila, pagbawalan natin sila mag-serve. Baka kung saan sa yan magpunta. Baka imbis sa simbahan yan magpunta. Paggabi, naglilinis kayo. Yung mga kabataan na yan, Sabado ng gabi, nandito sa simbahan, naglilinis, ang ganda-ganda ng ginagawa nila. Baka Sabado ng gabi, kung pagbawalan natin silang mag-serve, nasa bar yan, nasa galaan yan, nasa barkada yan. Kaya, sabi ko, sana naman, bigyan nyo ng consideration itong mga kabataan na gustong mag-serve. Kaya baka sa atin din sa simbahan, sa ating parish, baka lagi natin silang pinupulis, lagi natin silang pinapagalitan, lagi ang sungit-sungit natin sa kanila.
Oh, I think there's a stigma pero kaya I think the youth really find it uncool
Yes.
to serve in the church.
They're looking for community na magkakaroon sila ng sense of belongingness.
Father,
Tanggap sila.
baka makancel tayo rin sa mga
Sorry.
Peace tayo peace tayo.
Wala naman din. Hindi, dito may mga nagsuserve din ng mga youth no? Kasi ino-offer yan ni Father Noel Kaya sabi ko, sayang yun yung mga ganong na
It's
idea.
a lost opportunity. Which brings to the question, I know madaling sabihin to really bring our youth to serve, pero what do you think a good way, Sister Chris, to really, find that youth find serving the church attractive to the youth?
I guess this is one of the trusts of the CBCP Mental Health Technical Working Group, is to also have each parishes to have a mental health ministry. So, I guess siguro for us to start helping our youth na mas engaged sila sa ating parokya is maramdaman at makita nila na safe space ito. Psychologically, spiritually, safe space ito. Na hindi pa po manggagaling, sorry po, sabi din naman ni Father Franz, si Brother Joel, nakikita natin, na it's okay to correct our youth. Yung ating mga PYM, ang ating mga YFC, it's okay to correct them, direct them to the proper path. But we have also to help them journey doon sa experiences nila. I-journey po natin, wag po natin silang ilimit. Sana maging psychologically and spiritually safe ang simbahan para sa mga kabataan. And ako ay likely to disagree na nakikitahan nila, kaya na uncool ang spirituality sa kanila. It's because meron silang nakikita na hindi maaring tama or parang they are blocked with their experiences. They are blocked to express kung ano yung nakikita nila. Meaning, hindi po naproproseso. Hindi po sila nabibigyan ng tamang sagot. And hopefully, this conversation na meron tayo, mas mag-open sa atin na mga nagsiserve sa simbahan na maging spiritually and psychologically safe ang simbahan para sa mga kabataan. And hopefully, mas maging willing silang mag-serve.
Totoo po yun. No, Brother Joel, may nakwento kasi din ako sa inyo din before, di ba? Kasi actually, kahit din kami mga pare, no, may kasalanan din kami dyan. No?
This is something you don't hear.
Parang, hindi ko lang,
May admission.
kahit kami mga pare, aminin po namin, may malaki yung factor din namin. Baka hindi rin nakikitaan sa amin yung tamang spirituality, yung mga tao, lalong-lalo na yung mga kabataan. No? Minsan, napapansin ko rin naman sa mga kabataan, tingnan nyo, bakit sila hindi a-attend sa mga ganito? Yun nga, kasi career goals di ba? May mga goals sila, gusto nilang yumaman, gusto nilang maging sikat, gusto nilang makuha yung pangarap nila. Pero St. Therese will actually, St. Therese continuously reminding us na our vocation is love. No, hindi naman yung maging sikat, hindi naman yung yumaman, hindi kung ano pa man, kundi magmahal at mahalin. That is our vocation. Pero yung mga kabataan ngayon, akala nila kasi, yung tunay na magpapasaya sa kanila, ito. At ang nakakalungkot, minsan kaming mga pare, ganyan din yung isip namin. No? Minsan meron akong isang di makakalimutan na homily ng isang pare. Itong pari na to, kilala ko siya na loko-loko. No? Pasaway din tong paring ito. No? Di ko na siya papangalanan.
Wag, Father. Wag.
Di ko siya papangalanan. No? Kilala ko tong pari na to na talagang, actually alam niya yun. No? Lagi ko yung pinasabi sa kanya na ganito. Kasi even funeral mass, papatawa tong pari na to sa homily niya. Lagi siya nagpapatawa sa homily niya. Isang beses, nagbigay siya ng homily during our fellowship. Short, pero hanggang nasa eroplano ako pabalik dito sa atin, di ko makalimutan yung homily niya. Sabi niya, ano bang kahulugan ng isang pari na successful? Paano mo ba nasasabi na isang pari ay successful? Kapag ba nakapagpagawa siya ng isang malaking simbahan? Kapag ba napayaman niya ang isang simbahan? Kapag ba marami na siyang taong napasok, marami ng attendance sa simbahan, ito yung success ng isang pare. Kasi baka naliligaw na tayong mga pare sa pinaka-goal natin. Our goal is salvation of souls. Tapos tinapos niya ng ganun. Bigla ko rin napaisip. Kasi ako din, batang pare, ang dami ko din pangarap. Sabi ko, pag naging parish priest ako, magpapatayo ako ng ganito. Magpapagawa ko ng ganito. Pag naging parish priest ako, ganito yung technique ko, para ganito. Nakakalimutan ko, salvation of souls nga pala, kaya nga pala ako pare. Paano ko ngayon malalaman na isang successful yung isang pare? Kapag yung isang kaluluwa, nailigtas mo. Kapag yung isang kaluluwa, naturuan mo siyang magmahal. And because that must be my vocation. My vocation is love. Sabi nga ni St. Therese. At yun yung vokasyon ng bawat isa sa atin. Kaya bilang pare, sabi ko ang success, yun na maalala ng mga tao. That our vocation is love. Kaya baka kahit kaming mga pare, yun na yung nakakalimutan din namin. Kaya sana tulungan niyo po kaming maalala yun na yung tinuturo sa atin ni St. Therese. Lalong-lalo na baka yun kasi yung kailangan ng kabataan din natin ngayon. Maranasan nila yung pagmamahal sa loob ng simbahan. Yung parang mas gugustuhin nilang manatili sa simbahan kasi dito nila nararamdaman ng Diyos. Imbis na pumunta sa kung saan-saan, mas kakapitan nila yung pagmamahal na naranasan nila sa ating community. Tama po ba yun?
Thanks, Father. Quite a revelation. Anyway, brings to our fourth point, of course, Sister Chris, about yung addressing SAD on family relationships, and we all know, of course, The family is the basic unit of society, and of course, the quality of the people that we have right now is based on the quality of family life na meron tayo ngayon. So siguro yung pag-usapan naman natin yung mga good and bad family relationships that we have right now.
No? Kasi di ba si Saint Therese, alam din naman natin, medyo hindi naman perfect yung family niya. Di ba? Nawalan siya ng nanay, naranasan niya na parang iniwan siya ng kanyang mga kapatid. No? Parang mayroong abandonment din na nangyari sa experience siya sa loob ng tahanan. So, yun din yung titignan po natin sa experience ng mga kabataan din ngayon at maraming mga families sa panahon natin ngayon. Maraming mga families ngayon hindi rin kompleto. Maraming mga families ngayon, they're grieving sa pagkamatay ng mahal nila sa buhay. Marami ding mga kabataan ngayon, hindi nila maranasan ng kanilang mga magulang or mga magulang, hindi maranasan ng kanilang mga anak. So, ano po ang masasabi natin dito, Dr. Chris?
It's true po, no, na our family is the core foundation of the growth of our youth, no. Kung merong isa na magbibigay sa kanila talaga at makakatulong sa kanilang paglayo or pag-growth nga is yung pamilya na meron sila. However, we know po na a functional family, a family who is open to communication, supportive, loving, makikita po talaga natin yung positive effect noon sa ating anak. However, you also have to be open-minded that even if you're in one family system, every one of you is building a belief, a value. Same goes with your children. No? Kasi meron silang mga experiences meron silang mga nakakasama na iba, hindi lang kayo. Expose sila doon, kasama yung technology na meron tayo. So again, babalikan ko yung proper guidance sa mga bata. No? Sometimes, in psychology, meron tayong tinatawag na parenting style Ito ba yung authoritative ka na you give demands pero you also listen? Ikaw ba yung authoritarian na ikaw lang yung boss because I say so? Ikaw ba yung parent na best friend? Ito din tinatawag na permissive pero walang rules? O ikaw yung uninvolved at all, no? So, at the end of the day, with my observation, I can see na wala naman po talagang perfect family or parenting style. It's how we meet halfway. And I guess, babalikan ko yung core na in every communication, in every relationship, listening matters. We communicate our thoughts. We communicate our feelings. We communicate our challenges. No? And I guess that open communication can help our youth. Another one for the family, we cannot discount din po na talagang meron dysfunctional family. At it's really a challenge for our youth navigating yung a lot of stressors no, sa mundo. But adult like us, teachers, mentors, ministers, no, can help no po, support these students who are struggling from a family relationship. Hirap na nga sila kasi blended family Hindi nila alam kung saan sila pupunta. No? So yung support ng mga coaches nila, yung support na pwedeng ibigay ng mga tao sa loob ng simbahan matters a lot. So, ayun po, no, yung involvement ng family. Hindi naman po natin kailangan maging perfect family. Dahil member ako ng ganito, nagsiserve kami ng nanay at tatay mo, dapat ikaw din ganito, ganyan, ganto, ganyan. So when you say that and express that to your children, sana makita nila yung authenticity and sincerity sa inyo habang nagsiserve ka. Para eventually makita niya yung effect sa inyo at siya din. No? Ma-involve niya yung sarili niya with his or her own saying yes to that ministry. So, yun po, no? Mahirap maging magulang, tama po ba? I can agree naman po na mahirap maging magulang. At wala naman din talagang perfect family. But meeting halfway, pakinggan nasa saan yung mga anak nyo ngayon, no? Can help better have a good relationship, harmonious relationship sa family.
Tama po yun. No? Sa family, mahalaga naman po talaga.
Yeah. So, I mean, as much as, of course, there are good families, there are also dysfunctional families. So, we, and of course, in our church, in our family communities, we play a role, a big role in really helping them strengthening their respective families. Hindi po ito panghihimasok. It's really allowing ourselves to be instruments of God, to be able to help them really bond them together, strengthen these family ties. Kaya, yeah, don't feel bad, of course, kung ano.
Yes.
Okay? Sige. At this point, meron tayong may guess pa tayong isa pala. I almost forgot. Ano yun?
May kumakatok.
May daga.
Kumakatok. May daga. May daga.
Oh, we have another guest. Tuloy. Palakpakan natin.
Pasok
Si
po.
Sister Ian. Ano ba, tubig? Alam mo kape? Okay. So we have, of course, another guest, a wife, a mother to a daughter, and a servant leader of Couples for Christ, a teacher, and she refers to Saint Therese as her Beshi. Yeah. So let's give a round of applause to our second guest, Sister Iya Yazon. Hey, Sister Iya, good morning.
Hi, good morning po. Ay, ang lakas pala ng ilaw. Okay, good morning po. I'm Iya Yazon from Eastville, Philinvest. My husband's there, si Mike. Yan. Nagkakilala kami sa Singles for Christ. Just to share. Ayan. Tapos, and now we are...
Sandali lang, nandyan siya.
Ano na?
Gusto mo i-acknowledge din?
Sinabi ko na nga siya. Kaway ka naman siya.
Kaway ka naman. Tayo ka naman, Brother Mike. Yan,
Yan. Okay.
better half.
Yes. And then, he's a church worker here in St. Therese. So, I first learned about St. Therese from my mom. She loves to visit relics kasi. So, dahil ako lang yung only daughter niya, so I was the only one willing to go with her to different places. She would always tell me stories about her. And I remember her telling me na si St. Therese, pag nag-answer ng prayer, meron siyang rose na pinapadala, a sign. So today I want to share with you the roses that St. Therese also gave me throughout my life. Okay? Moments when God answered my prayers through her intercession. So nung I was in college, binagsak ko kasi yung chem subject ko. So na-prerequisite siya ng major subject. So nabagsak ko siya, so tinake ko ulit siya. Tapos nanganganib ulit akong bumagsak. So syempre kabado ako kasi kung hindi ko siya matitake ulit, kung hindi ko siya maipapasa, hindi ako gagraduate kasabay ng mga kaibigan ko. And syempre, di ba, back then, that was a very big deal. So, my mom invited me back in 2000 sa Camp Crame to visit the relic of St. Therese. So, nakapila kami, ang daming tao. So, sa isip ko, wala naman akong maisip na ipagdadasal. So, naalala ko yun nga, yung chem ko. Tapos, I remembered na ang final exam ko dapat makapag 2.75 ako para makatres sa class card ko. So, dahil hirap na hirap ako, feeling ko imposible na mangyari yun. So when I reached the relic, I just held on to the glass and I said, no more long words, sinabi ko na lang, St. Therese, ikaw na po bahala magdasal para sa akin. And a few days later ng exam ko, a high school friend randomly visited our house. She just finished her thesis defense and received 2 red roses. So pumunta siya sa bahay namin and she gave one to me. Kinalibutan ako. Ayan. Kinalabutan ako. Ano ba yan?
Tongue twister, eh?
Sorry. Then, when I finally received my grade, ayun, hindi lang tres, 2.75. That means yung test ko, yung final exam ko, was higher than what I needed. So, doon ata nagpakilala si Saint Therese sa akin. The second rose came after Mike and I got married. We thought having children would be easy. But years passed and it didn't happen. We went through a lot. Prayers, treatments, expenses, and even strain in our relationship. The treatments were the hardest for us. We needed to stick to the schedule. We needed to travel to Manila for tests, then back to Quezon City for treatment, all while juggling work that we needed to do. Ano ba yan? Sorry. It was exhausting, frustrating, and overwhelming for me. Lalo na after 1 month when you hold the pregnancy test and it's still negative. Ay, tagal na nito ba? Ayan. Nakakaiyak, nakakapanlumo, parang meron pa ba akong lakas pagkatapos nito? I would pray to Saint Therese back then and tell her, gusto talaga namin ito eh. Pero
and I'm sorry, but we were witness of that particular 7-year challenge, and I know it was very difficult.
Yan. So back then, I would tell Saint Therese na gusto talaga namin to eh, pero parang ang hirap naman. So lost and troubled, just like what you said kanina, we sought guidance from our parish priest. Iba talaga kapag malaki yung presence ng sa simbahan. It was Father Neil. And one thing he told us struck deeply. Even without a child, we were already a family. So again, we surrendered. We told God, sige na nga, Lord, ikaw na po ang bahala. And in His perfect timing, after 8 years of marriage, we were blessed with our daughter. So, syempre, we named her Micaela Therese, after our little flower, our little miracle. So that was our second rose. Another rose came in 2018. My mom had a heart attack. I remembered watching her being wheeled into surgery, praying she would be safe. Then the doctor told her condition was more complicated. She needed a more advanced procedure and that would cost around a lot of money. Naramdaman ko yung room na sumisikip habang sinasabi ito ng doktor sa akin. Parang napaka-imposible naman na walang kaming choice. But there was really no choice, diba? That's the only way that she will live. I felt completely helpless. As I walked back to her room, weak and overwhelmed, I saw the hospital chapel. And I went in. And there, the first saint I saw was Saint Therese. I held her statue, her hands holding a flower and a cross, and just said, Besh, no other words, just tears and surrender. And God provided. At the right time, a super delayed payment from one of my dad's legal cases came through. It was exactly what we needed. My mom survived and was given a new life. And that was the third rose. Now, we teach Mattie, our daughter, to ask Saint Therese to pray for her when she's having a hard time. We tell her, pag merong exam, tas hirap ka, ask Saint Therese to pray for her. And we also pray that sana sapat din yung naituturo namin. She faces the world as a preteen. Diba? This harsh world. So I continue to pray to Saint Therese even in the most mundane things in my life. I have learned to lean on her both in good and bad times. My husband continues to be the only Tuesday novena streamer of the shrine before the renovation para kay Beshi. Nakaka-stress pa rin kasi minsan nawawala ang internet, minsan may problema, yet grasya pa rin ang nangyari kahit 15 to 20 viewers lang. Pati kami in the parking lot of my daughter's school kasi that's where he streams. We get to pray the novena. When I look at the life of Saint Therese, what inspires me the most is her childlike trust in God. She teaches us that prayer doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple, honest, and surrendered. Every time I see her relic, hold a rose from her novena, or even just look at her image, I'm reminded that we can truly trust God fully, even when life is uncertain. So Saint Therese of the Child Jesus, pray for us.
Thank you. Napakaganda ng testimony ni Sister Iya in her three roses from Beshi.
Marami nang umiiyak. Okay po. No? So, ano na po ba?
No, I mean, of course, that particular testimony from Sister Iya sums up, of course, our devotion to our patron saint. And, of course, in her little way, in those, I would say those weren't really little moments, there were big moments, but the little ways really helped our Sister Iya with her challenges. So just like us, of course, when we face these challenges, diba? It's very automatic that we rely to our patron saint. So, Beshi, diba? Beshi na ako, pero can you help me with this particular challenge? And no doubt she will be there to give her roses to us.
Amen.
Amen? Okay, so actually that sums up any
Meron po ba, baka may mga tanong?
may question po po kayo, pero I think we're just
Siguro because we're pressed for time, magmamas pa tayo.
magmamas pa
We
tayo.
will entertain at least hindi at least, one question only kung pwede.
Unahan na lang.
The first who raised his hand after I say one.
Question? Wala na yata.
Anyone? Brother, clarification.
Going back to Father Franz, sorry, when you mentioned about the youth being prevented from serving by the Mother Butler, I'm not to the defense of Mother Butler. I have been the only Father Butler in the Philippines, as claimed by Ambassador Tita de Villa. There are certain liturgical practices that the youth cannot do, di ba? The Mother Butler are allowed to handle liturgical, sacred vessel, sacred linens. So the youth are not, although they have junior MBG, they are just allowed to handle the flowers and others, but not the sacred things. They are allowed that upon reaching of 18, they can join the, similar to junior lector, junior asserets, we have, no? So there is a limitation on age, no? Even in the United States, the Mother Butler are not allowed to handle sacred vessels, only in the Philippines, but not in all. In our Antipolo, Ola, the butlers are not allowed to handle by the priest. So it is the decision of the priest. Liturgically, they have something, practices that must be done and not to be done. So just a clarification.
Yes,
so not to be unfair that they are being discriminated.
Yes po.
Meron na po tayo, Father Franz kami. We have college students, dalawa po. Ngayon,
Na
na Mother
dito.
Butler member.
Yun. Sa amin din po kasi, dati talaga ang dami. Biglang nagulat ako, nung panahon ni Father Noel, ang dami. Biglang, dito ako, biglang nawala. Sabi ko, bakit nawala? Yun po, bawal na daw po kasi ganito, bawal. Hindi ko naman alam na bawal sila nationally. Sabi ko lang, sayang. No? Pero kung pwede naman pala sila doon sa flowers, pwede naman silang maglinis, diba? Yun, pwede yun. Agree po ako doon.
Oh, I get it, Tito Ed. So siguro ang ano natin is we really have to explain these things to them so that they would not take it, of course, negatively. Okay, so kung mapapaliwanagan natin why
Oo,
they
kasi baka mali lang pala yung interpretation ng mga mother butler namin.
hindi kasi pwedeng sabihin, basta. Di ba? Hindi pwedeng
Bawal
ganun.
daw eh.
Bawal daw. So we have to
Kaya nga.
explain these things.
Sabi ko, nakakalungkot naman yun. Pinagbawalan niyo yung mga bata.
Alright. So, alam mo, lumipas talaga yung several hours. So I lost track of time. But of course, maraming salamat for everyone dito po sa ating talk number 4 ng ating St. Therese Talk Series. Thank you once again to our guest speaker, Ms. Chris Fernande, devotee, Sister Ia Razon. Of course, with my no holds barred na mga Father Franz, maraming salamat for your insights and also
Thank you
your
rin po.
sharing.
Brother Joel. Palakpakan natin si Brother Joel.
And to everyone who are still awake, if you're still awake, maraming salamat for attending today in this morning session. And always remember, Brother Franz, ang ating last spiel, always remember, choose
Joy.
over
Sad.
sad.
Ano yung
Magandang-
meaning ng joy? Na Jesus, others, and you. No?
Jesus,
Than
others, and you.
sad. Ano nga ba yung sad?
Yung stress, anxiety, and depression. So yan, for that, brothers and sisters, magandang umaga to everyone.